Hey everyone, welcome to Lost Controlled's Defender Diary, and today we're going to be breaking down one of the coolest abilities in the game, Ward of Dawn. So today's video is going to be more of a holistic overview of the ability itself. We're going to save some of the tips and tricks for PvP and PvE for later videos. Right now we're just going to go over the basics of the ability and how to get the most out of it, and how to use your talents and upgrades here to get the most out of Ward of Dawn. So there's three primary upgrades to the Ward of Dawn ability, and that's Armor of Light, Blessings of Light, and Weapons of Light. And then there's also going to be three tertiary abilities that affect it as well, but they're not going to be a direct upgrade, and those are Bastion, Untouchable, and Illuminated. So the first one we're going to look at is Armor of Light. Now with Armor of Light, this is a huge PvP ability, and that's going to give you a significant damage reduction while you're inside the bubble. Followed by Armor of Light, which gives you a temporary bonus boost to your armor as you move around outside of the bubble. That's going to last for about 10 seconds. And then Blessings of Light, similarly for another additional 10 seconds, is going to give you a 30% damage bonus. So when you first activate Ward of Dawn with either Weapons of Light or Blessings of Light active, you're going to notice a buff in your lower left corner screen. It's going to either flash Weapons or Blessings of Light depending on your respective talent, and that's going to last for about 10 seconds. So now there's a trick to this, so because if your Ward of Dawn lasting 30 seconds, you can kind of bounce in and out of the bubble and then keep that buff active. This is particularly useful for Weapons of Light because it provides that 30% damage bonus, and if you can master this technique, it's almost like having a static 30% damage bonus for about 30 seconds. Now this can be further altered when we look at Illuminated, which is going to also increase damage by another 5%. So that's a 35% static damage bonus with Weapons of Light. This is the reason why you bring a defender to a raid or a high level strike. Ward of Dawn as a defensive measure is great as a, oh my god, button, but, it's that damage bonus. It's that utility that you bring to focus fire down enemies in a really critical moment, and that's one of the great utilities of the class. Now that's not to say that you shouldn't always take Weapons of Light, and in fact I wouldn't recommend it for PvP, which we'll go into in later videos. But here's an example of me using Armor of Light. Now this could be really interesting. This is of course a PvE environment, but for PvP, particularly useful in Control or whenever you're holding down cap points, because it basically makes you unkillable inside your bubble, with the exception of maybe Blade Dancer supers or type of Warlock grenades or anything like that. But basically anyone that comes in and touches you in your bubble is going to die if you're wielding a pretty handy shotgun or any type of high damage weapon. You're going to own face, especially with Disintegrate, but we'll go into that later. So what we're looking at right now is a high level strike, well I guess I shouldn't say high level, 24 at this point, that's probably not that high level by the time you guys watch this, of the, I believe it's the Dust Palace. And we're using Armor of Light, particularly for this boss, because me and my friends just had a blast with it. I hadn't unlocked Weapons of Light yet, so we were still using Armor of Light. And I don't know if you guys like boxing. I don't even really like boxing. But boxing in Destiny is really fun, and with this particular boss battle, you can really get up in their grill and punch the hell out of them. But sometimes you're gonna need a little bit of buff. So Armor of Light, watch this go down with Ward of Dawn on this boss, and me and my friends just went freaking nuts when we first did this. So he's just gonna come in and we're just gonna pound the crap out of him. It's like Super Smash Bros. Melee on this guy. We're just going to, and they can't kill us. He won't be able to do enough damage as long as you stay inside the bubble with Armor of Light. You can see that buff going on in the corner there. We're just wailing on him. We're not even shooting. You can shoot inside the bubble if you wanted to, but in this particular scenario, I mean, how could you pass this up? This is just awesome. And we just go to town. Sometimes we would even wait. We wouldn't even shoot the boss. Sometimes we would just wait for my super to come back up so we could do that again. And these are the type of things that you wouldn't think you'd be having fun with the Defender class in, but there's just all these types of little tips and tricks that you can do, and it's just, you gotta do it, just go try it. It's just wail on a boss and don't die. I can't describe it with words, even video's probably not doing it justice. You gotta go do it, it's fun. Now of course there's the two additional talents that affect Ward of Dawn, Untouchable and Bastion. But you're probably not going to be using these for reasons we'll mention in another video. There's better upgrades that I believe you can do with your talents. But Untouchable is going to reduce the cooldown of your Ward of Dawn, so combining this with your intellect however much intellect you're stacking on your gear is going to reduce your Ward of Dawn cooldown even further. I don't know how particularly useful this ability is, but again, we'll go over that when we go over top builds that you can do for PvP and PvE. And additionally, Bastion is going to increase the duration of your Ward of Dawn from a starting point of 30 seconds to 45 seconds. Again, I don't know how useful this is going to be. If you already are stacking a high amount of intellect on your gear, which you should be, you're going to have it up in the key situations that you want it in. Now, you could argue that you're going to get a greater Weapons of Light bonus by having Ward of Dawn up longer. Again, it's a preference. I don't particularly use it, but again, we'll go over that in another video. But I wanted to touch base on those two abilities because they are part of the Ward of Dawn talent tree and everything that you need to know about this particular ability. You know, some final thoughts on Ward of Dawn. I really like it. It's unique amongst all of the subclasses, super abilities. That is not a direct damaging ability. Although you could say the Sunsinger is not a direct damaging ability, it's a damage enhancement ability. Whereas Ward of Dawn is particularly a defensive play, with the exception of Weapons of Light. But again, that's, I guess, kind of indirect. I don't know. You know, argue in the comments if you want. But it is unique. It's not a tank class, it's not a tank ability, but it has a particularly usefulness that you really don't see in any of the other classes, except for maybe Sunsinger in terms of what they provide to your either PvE Rage, Strike, or your Fire team in the Crucible. So it's really fun. I like it. There's so much nuance to it. There's so much depth to it. It's great, and again, I can't wait to explore it further with you in some of our later videos. We should be getting up some pretty good PvP tips pretty soon, and then we're also going to go into some advanced strike tips and some of the rules that you can be doing with Ward of Dawn. It's going to be a blast. So see you then, Guardians. If you like, please subscribe. If you have any comments, let me know. Any other videos you want me to work on. Means a lot, any feedback that you guys have. Thanks again for watching.